Welcome back to the dumbest modeling channel on all of YouTube, Pitstain Hobbies. We're back on our lovely Agora models, Leopard 2A6. Links in the description to Agora models so you can check it out, see how the whole subscription works, and maybe order yourself one of these awesome tanks. To me, these are impossible to find now, for the most part, or super expensive, and this is way nicer than any ready to run. In my opinion, totally. This thing is pretty badass. So back to the Leopard 2A6. We're going to be on pack 6, which means we need to look at our supplemental, our pack 13 instructions, and get out a couple baggies here. Because these springs are for stage 6 and 7, and I will read to you now. Story time with Ian. Oh, please don't close the window just yet. This is important if you're building this. Okay, pack 6 and 7 include springs for the wheel suspension. These springs are suitable if you intend to use your Leopard for display purposes only. We're mostly going to use this for display purposes, but we will be driving it. So, stronger springs suitable for remote control use over uneven ground have been provided in pack 12. However, we have also included them in this pack, so you can choose which springs to use when you come to this part of your build. If you are not sure, use the springs in this pack. Okay. And discard the wheel suspension springs in packs 6, 7, and 12. So I'm not sure if these are the same as the springs in pack 12 exactly or not. I can pull pack 12 out and check them. But these are the stiffer springs, more suitable for outdoors driving on uneven surfaces, probably indoors on like carpet and hardwood floors and tile. You might be able to get away with the springs provided in pack 6 and 7. A fun thing we could also try is using softer springs and harder springs in different places, like the front and rear road wheels, or wherever the weight of the vehicle is going to be, which is kind of everywhere. This thing's heavy. You could stiffen though. You could put the stiffer springs in the front of the back possibly, and use the softer ones in the middle. Get a little more wheel articulation when you're off-roading. But that's getting a little advanced and experimental. We're not going to go that far. Again, we have our Ian Screwed Up stickers right here. We have 3 different varieties now. And you catch me messing up or calling an axe a pick or something like that, which did happen and someone corrected me. You are welcome to like, subscribe, and comment below with my mistake and correct me publicly in front of all to see. I love public shaming. It helps me learn better. And then you can email me in the description. My address is in there. Your address to get a sticker. These things, I've gotten them going to Australia, Ireland, Canada, the UK. I forget, did I send any to New Zealand? I've used quite a few of my international stamps so far. And of course, amongst, people in the US as well. I'm waiting for Germany to correct me on something, because, this is your tank. A lovely Leopard 2A6 the Germans have built. And we can send stickers to Germany. Let's see. This is a clear one for your beer fridge. That's a cool one. And we got the holographic and the glitter. Okay, back to this. Let's start with pack 6 and stage 43. So let's see what we got here. Now I have snuck my sticky fingers into all these parts packs because I flat cleared the outer road wheel. Didn't paint them, just flat cleared them, and they look fabulous with the flat clear on them. If you want to see the difference, because these are just colored ABS, like the lower chassis tub, so you can see ABS has a sheen to it. It has a sheen, and with the flat clear, bam! See, sheeny, beauty. A little flat clear goes a long way. Nothing like a little matte coat. Okay, so let's start this pack up, and I'll be right back. Let me get some of this stuff out of the way. Okay, so the first thing they want us to do is, I mentioned it previously, is underneath here, the upper chassis. Thank you for texting while I'm recording, babe. Always appreciate it. All right, look at what I'm doing here. Remember I'm always saying mind your mirrors, make sure they don't, flap around? Boom. I saw a picture of somebody on Facebook building this thing, and they had that they had their mirrors taped down. Maybe it wasn't Facebook. Maybe it was the forums. I don't know. But either way, now we could much more easily flip this over. And we're supposed to remove these 4AM screws and replace them with these shorter RP screws. And even though they have the letter P in them, they're not plastic screws. They've definitely got machine threads. So they look proper. I'm going to just examine one just for poops and giggles. See what we can see here. Let's pull this one out here. Now I ground them down, but they should still come out. There we go. So I went and ground them flush. Yeah, and they're basically the same exact length. No difference there. So you would take out all those and put in these to replace them. And yeah, oh yeah, some of them, yeah, I don't do the grinder thing. Like giving you replacement screws. They're right here in pack 6. I'm just gonna do these two. The others are fine. They're in there real tight too, so I don't want to strip out a screw head while trying to remove it. But that was easy, and there we go. And she's in. That's fine. So that will solve that small issue in the other stage where the screws were indeed too long. Thank you for the viewer that pointed out that tip about the replacement screws being in the later issue. I jumped to conclusions. It's the only thing I could really jump to. I can't jump, no. You ever looked at me, you know I'm not slam dunking basketballs over here. Next, we're gonna get the turret out, so we'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to take this little part, and we're going to install it right there, and we have to glue it down. I would say be careful getting glue anywhere where it meets the front armor, and we're just going to take our CA glue, just a couple dabs there, a couple dabs there, a couple dabs on this side, a couple dabs there, and that should be good. We could also put a tiny bit of glue inside this seam on either side. Very little, very sparingly. We don't want to glue its fist to its face like I'm so prone to doing. Here we go. You don't want too much glue in there because you don't want it to ooze out or anything like that. And I glued my finger to right there a little. Careful with that crazy glue, everyone. Okay. So that's going to be in place. We're going to let that dry and move along to building a road wheel, or a bogie, basically. Not quite a bogie. I mean, sort of, kind of. No, it's not. Oh, there goes some stickers to somebody. The suspension arm and road wheel assembly. There we go. That's what we're building. But you can still correct me and win a sticker. I don't care. I got these things coming out of my ears now. Every time an email comes in, I'm like, hey, 50 more stickers for whatever. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, so road wheel time. This is what we'll need, is your inner and outer road wheel and this bushing here. And the way they go together is pretty straightforward. Put the bushing in there, and you put the outer road wheel on the outside, and a few QP screws going in the back, and then at some point we're going to push the axle through. And it spins fairly well. Now, when this is assembled, the weight of the tank will be bearing down like this. And it'll be bearing on that bushing. This bushing right here. And this bushing will spin on this axle shaft right here. Okay? And they're all ABS. And ABS has some fairly good self-lubrication. But once you get a little bit of dirt, dust, or grime in there, you could potentially start wearing the plastic on. This is only for people that are hardcore going to drive this thing a lot, okay? And this is a very cheap modification, is these ball bearings. Now, I saw that bushing, and I said, damn, that looks pretty close to the size of a standard ball bearing for, like, an RC car. And it pretty much was, but it wasn't. This is 5 millimeters ID, 11 millimeters OD, and 5 millimeters thick. Most RC bearings are 5 ID by 11 OD by 4 millimeters thick. So I went on Amazon and found some 5 by 11 by 5 shielded ball bearings. Sealed are the best, but shielded are fine. And then when this is on the axle, okay, the weight of the tank is going to be bearing down and riding on that ball bearing spinning, and it's not going to be spinning on the axle shaft, chewing it up. And it's going to do a few things. One, it'll decrease wear a lot on the suspension arm axle. B, it will slightly, and these are marginal gains, but somewhat, it will improve battery life a bit and cool the motors down a bit, potentially, as well as put a little less strain on the gearboxes. Overall, ball bearings are a great thing in anything RC, anything that you're going to move, drive around. A lot of tanks, they don't come with ball bearings stock. You have to add them anyway. Even Tamiya tanks, they don't include ball bearings for everything. They come with little bronze bushings instead of plastic bushings. Same principle, though. Ball bearings. Now, 20 of these on Amazon were just shy of $13. So not an expensive modification. If I remember, I will put an Amazon link down below to where I got my ball bearings. But 5 millimeter by 11 millimeter by 5 millimeter ball bearings is what you want for these road wheels. So we're going to end up using these in place of the plastic bushings. And again, for display, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. For driving around once in a blue moon on your carpet, your hardwood floor, scaring the dog, driving around the tile, fine. If you're going to get down and dirty with this thing outdoors, I would go the ball bearing route. But otherwise, it'll be just fine. Like I said, for 99% of what people are going to use this tank for, it's perfectly fine. This is only for the real RC guys who want to really bash on the thing a bit. Okay, we'll be right back with one built road wheel assembly. Again, just like that, drops right in. It drops right in, and it drops right. Jeez Louise, Butterfingers. See, drops right in. It actually fits ever so slightly snugger than this one, which is a good thing. We'll be right back. Okay, so we've got our wheel screwed together there. We got our little rubber tires slipped on. They look gorgeous. Don't over tighten this screw. You just need it to just be tight enough to keep it from flopping in and out. And we're going to take our center cap from an earlier stage and snap that in. Now, in the picture that comes with the kit, there is a little bit of red paint on that center cap. So what we're going to do is we're just going to touch it ever so lightly. Little dab. Of Tamiya XF7 flat red. Oh, that's more than a dab. Nope. That's actually okay. There we go. And now we'll have our little red center cap. So it'll look just like the photo. And there we go. Tiny little dab of paint. If you get extra paint on there, just wipe it off with some rubbing alcohol. But that's what we used. It was Tamiya flat red XF7. Like I said, most of the mods I'm doing to this thing are just, clear coat, and then I'm going to do weathering and those look cute. That's nice. I like that. Because it is in the photos. So if we pull out the giant photo. There you go. You can see that right there. Those little red dots. Actually, that red circle goes around the outside of that centerpiece a little more than I even painted on there. So, technically, we might want to put a little more on there to get as accurate as possible to this. The tank that they took pictures of was in basically parade condition for the most part. So there we go. A little extra red. And that's that for the road wheel. And next thing, we're going to start putting some bits onto the lower chassis tub. So I'll be right back with those. Okay, here we go. We're back. So we've got a whole bunch of these little plastic bits here, tiny little things. Spill them out. I put them on a microfiber towel to keep them from rolling around as easily. You know, if you put it on a hard work surface, they could just go, you know, swiping away. I mean, even at this, if I accidentally brushed them, they're mostly staying on the towel. Aside from that, we've got two of these little triangular bits that have to go in these holes right here and right here. One here, one here. They only go in one way. They have a half moon shaped peg, and they go in. I'm going to add just a dab of glue, because that one little connection point there, these probably aren't any part of the function of the suspension, but knowing me as I'm handling this thing, I'll probably just knock one of them off and snap the pin just out of my own clumsiness. So I'm just planning for that in the future, and they just snap right in nice and tight. And then we got a bunch of these little, oh my god, these are so small, these little itty bitty pin, like a bolt head almost, and they go into each one of these little holes here, here, there, there, and there, and there. We just got to shove those in the holes. So we'll be right back. Let me see. Do I wanna put any glue in that? I don't think that's necessary. Yeah, that's sunk in there pretty well. So that doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't need any glue. That's in there tight, tight, tight. Okay, we'll be right back after all our little tiny bits are shoved into place. Okay, all our little peggy guys are pushed in. They were actually a little tricky to get in the holes. Probably because I had a flat clear. They probably go in a tiny bit easier on an uncoated model, which is what most people are going to be building. Now, we have to put in a suspension spring, and there's a specific, you can see those little holes, little tiny holes right above the axle boss there, and we put her in the hole. Nope, missed the hole. That's what, oh boy, yeah, there's a joke there. Come on, go in your home. You know, I did this 6 times off camera, and it went in, it just dropped right in. Way to make things look harder than they are, Ian. Doofus. Oh my lord, really, why is this so difficult? And there we go. Sorry, jeez. That was way too hard. Probably the angle I was working at. So this is the stock spring, and it's fine, but I can tell it's a little on the soft side. So then here's our black spring from our supplement pack, and oh yeah, that one's way stiffer. And for a tank this heavy, the stiffer springs are definitely going to help. I mean, those soft springs in there, just over time, sitting on a shelf, it could sag a bit, potentially, which is why they gave you the stiffer springs. Now, you see this opening in here, this is where we have to capture this little tip of the spring, and then we have to get the little stop tab right up here past that little limiting tab right there. You can see it better over here, maybe. Right, this little guy. So we got to put this down on the arm of the spring that's sticking out, and we got to rotate it around and keep that spring in there until you get it down. Now, this task is much easier with the softer springs. And then we got our PP screw, handy on our screwdriver, and we're going to get this bolted down, because this sucker is under some tension, and it wants to take a trip across your workbench. So it's going to make sure that we get this thing fully screwed in. And see, I didn't. Oh look, there we go. It's this is a kind of a tricky spot. And it's still not enough. Let me see here. Oh! Nope, she went flying again. Huh. Oh yeah, that screw is just not going all the way home. Let me take this off because it's tight. I mean, I'm starting to strip the screw head. She's in there. Let's just pre-thread this hole. Yes, she doesn't want to go all the way in flush. Okay. Okay, so we got it all the way in flush. It definitely took a few more turns than I was able to get on it before. So this part of the build, if you just want to cry uncle, you can just use the softer spring. I'm going to take out the spare PP screw they give me and get that preloaded onto my screwdriver. There we are. Ow, I got a boo-boo from before. Well, it wouldn't be model building if you're not bleeding. There we go. So, after we know we can thread that screw in all the way, now we're just going to get the spring back in its little home. Oh, Ian. Why? Come on. Go in your little hole. Okay. Is she in the hole? No, she's not in the hole. Let me, I'll be right back. The camera's making me nervous. That's my excuse for tonight. Okay, here's how we're going to do this easier. So I've got it in this position right now. And we've got to get this stop past that stop. I put the screw in part way. Just enough to kind of hold it in place, but not so much that I can't tilt it and push it past the stop. Once we're past the stop, we can then screw our screw in those remaining couple of turns. There we go. Yeah, nice. Now, you'll put this on and you'll be like, I don't know, man, that might be too stiff. There's going to be 14 of these wheels holding the tank up. Trust me. You think it's too stiff, it might not be. Like I said, if you want, you could use the softer springs in some of these road wheels, like just the back two, use the stiff ones, and up here, or maybe just the back one or the back two, whatever, and then you could put a few softer ones and then another stiffer spring in the front. Varying results could be attained on articulation over uneven surfaces. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and just put all the stiff springs in it all the time. Yeah, nice. Movement's nice. Ooh, that rolls smooth. Nice. Okay. Yeah, very nice. Okay, so there we go. Now we've, according to the instructions, building more track links. By the way, I have completed basically one entire track. This is 78 links. I need to add one more. So when I go to start building my second track, and we have plenty of these stored up, probably have 6 of these piled up right now, and we're going to have a lot more of them by the end of pack 6 here. So stage 43, stage complete. Off to 44. I'll go get those bits out, and we'll be right back. Okay, here's stage 44. Again, I've gone in there and previously flat cleared the outer road wheel. We got tires. We got the inner road wheel. Another tire. Our PP screws. Whoa, tire. Behave. PP screws. Another pack of track links. Okay. Then our little bits here. Suspension arm, the spring, some more screws. And then we've got one of the side skirting panels, side armor panels. Well, this is skirting, actually. I'm going to go flat clear this and leave it to the side. This road wheel thing is going to go the same as before. I'm going to throw a ball bearing in there to replace the bushing, screw it together, snap in the center cap that we've painted red, and then have Mortal Kombat with those very stiff, nice springs they gave us in the supplemental package. We'll be right back. Figured I had one tip here for putting wheels together. When you're screwing together the inner and outer road wheel, start all 3 screws, put them in most of the way, and then go around and give them each a half a turn, one at a time. You'll feel the wheel tilting and tilting and tilting, and then it'll flatten right out. So that way you get a nice even straight mating surface in the middle there. That is all. Okay, so I was a little overzealous there. Beginning of 44, they want us to take our return rollers from earlier stages and get those bolted onto the chassis. Okay, so these you just put them on there and then screw in from behind with an OP screw, which has a nice little built-in flange, and that's easy enough. And these are going to be just fine for indoor use and limited use, and even probably extended indoor use. I just really wanted rubber tires. Really, that's my only excuse. These are fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They're ABS. They'll wear nicely. The paint on the tracks is very smooth. But we have our little ball bearing machined aluminum with rubber tire contraption, which I had to grind it down just a little bit around the edges. I'm taking off a fraction of a millimeter in total dimension to make sure it drops into place perfectly. But yeah, we're gonna drop that into place. Oop. There we go. There we go. Sits nice and flush, fits just fine. And we're gonna get that bolted in. But again, if you're using the stock parts, same thing. You just drop them into place. They actually hold themselves in nicely with the pegs and one screw in the back, and you're good to go. So we'll be right back. Okay, and that's it for stage 44. That's in there. We did the same thing. We let it swing forward. We partially screwed the screw in, and then we finished it off. Now, it's hard to get enough torque and bearing down force with these little mini screwdrivers. So I broke out a slightly bigger PH1 screwdriver, so you could just bear down on it just with a little more oomph and get a little more weight behind that screw to get her in there good. We have our little piece here, which we flat cleared. Doesn't really look any different. The paint on this kit is very nice. It's nice and flat. There we go. Next to 45, and more of the same. Road wheel, suspension arm. We got some little plastic bits to clip on. We're saving one of them, and we got another side panel. We'll be right back with those parts. Okay, so 45. Got some more track links. Rubber tire. We love our rubber tires on this channel. Inner road wheel, flat cleared outer road wheel. Just adding a little paint. Oh, nice big piece of side panel there. There we go. Put her down there. And then we've got our bags of accoutrement. And let's see what we got. Okay, your suspension arm bushing spring, and then some springs. Oh, and we got a text message while recording as usual. There's some cool little piece of plastic with looks like metal pins inserted in them already. Okay, these are probably hinges for all of our side panel. I'm assuming something like that. We'll see. We shall find out. But there they are. Let's get into the instructions. I'll be right back with what's going on after we put together this road wheel and suspension arm assembly. So we'll be back in un momentito. This is a nice little fun detail here. Okay, so here's our side panel from this stage and the previous 2 stages side panels, along with these little bits that we got, which are little bits of painted plastic with metal pins embedded in them. That's pretty cool. Nice little construction detail. That must have been a fun part to manufacture, mold around the metal pins. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to snap this middle one into place. Okay, and we're going to screw it in from behind. Then we're going to slide on this front armor, this front plate, and then we're going to take this little black one and get that guy in there, and then do the same with the second panel. And I will be right back to show you the pretty cool expected results. Oh, awesome. It was not fiddly whatsoever, actually. And look at that. Those hinges were great. They lay nicely to the side. They've got a little bit of resistance, but if you're like banging the tank around a lot, they might actually move around a little, which is kind of cool to have that extra little bit of action. Then this little bit, we got to save this for a later stage, and this is a very tiny part. I'm going to throw it back in the bag with its own screws, and we'll put that to the side. And let's see here. And I think that's, yeah, then build some more track links, which, there we go. Stage complete. So, we're at the end of 45, and we have 3 road wheels, this side panel, bits built. We got our return rollers installed, and all our little plastic other bits squeezed on and glued in some aspects. Just added a little glue for my own mental well-being there. And let's see. Okay, 46. 46 more the same. I mean, it's going to be like this for a lot of the stages in the Pack 6 box because it's a lot of road wheels and suspension arms. It's, it's repetitive. I actually really enjoy putting this suspension on, and then you get to play with little springs like a 5-year-old. That's always fun. And then you could push down on the whole thing. And yeah, she's getting pretty well stiffly sprung there. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, the soft springs would probably sag a bit over time, or it might like bottom out if you're like really going over some gnarly obstacles outdoors, which is why they give you the stiffer ones. So we'll be right back with some more action on road wheels and suspension arms. Okay, and that's stage 46 done. We got one of those little brackets bolted onto this side plate here, and we got the other 2 brackets in the baggie with the bracket from the previous stage, so we don't lose them. We're going to put that aside and move on to 47. More of very similar steps here. Let's get you slid out of the way a little bit. There we go. And here's 47. And some more track links for fun later. Another side plate. Very nice. Road wheel and tires, as usual. And then a bag of our suspension arm and other various hardware bits. And going to do the same thing all over again, so no point really recording that part. But we'll be right back. Alrighty. So, this is one of the panel from 47, along with our previous piece. And then one of our little bracket doohickeys. And we're going to put her in the hole. And snap it into place. There we go. And then attach one screw on the back. One of these little itty bitty, what are these? NP. Things are damn near microscopic, these little screws. And then one little screw, do not. Well, first get it in the hole. That would be helpful. But do not over tighten. Just 2-finger torque. And that's it. Let it cam out on you. Like, don't push down too hard. That's all. Look at that. Awesome. And we got 3 flappy panels. 1, 2, 3 flappy panels. Yeah. Okay, there's my count impersonation from Sesame Street. Wait for me to get sued. All right, well, that looks like, other than track links, it for 47. And on to 48. Basically, another very similar stage. We'll be right back. All right, done with 48 other than track links, and then we have our little panel here that came with 48. We slide it onto the pin from this, and just to get a preview of what this is going to look like, we can just slide this one into that pin, and then look at that. This thing's coming along nicely. This thing's going to look badass, and the camouflage matching, bravo. Bravo, Agora. Good job getting all that camo to match up. I mean, it would have seriously irritated me if it didn't. Like, a millimeter or two, I don't care. I didn't expect perfection, but damn. I mean, that is an excellent pattern match on the camo. Like, right there. It's really, I mean, it's impressive. So that's it for 48. We're going to move on to 49, which is quite surprise, surprise. Another road wheel bag, but we'll get that knocked out and we'll be back momentarily. Okay, 49 is done. Our last road wheel is on, and then we have this panel that we've just put in with one of those little brackets and a little screw on the back, and that is that for 49. Let's go on. Ooh, 50. Ooh, Sprocket. Ooh, drive sprockets are cool. I'll be right back with that part. Okay, so here we are with stage 50. A pack I have not already cut open because there's no track links in it. And we've got our inner sprocket, nice heavy die-cast metal. Our outer sprocket, very nice detail on there. That's going to look nice weathered up. And this is our little final drive, out drive cover. It's probably going to go right about there. And a few baggies of screws. This looks pretty straightforward. We might be saving this sprocket for later, potentially, because there's no transmissions in here yet. So there's nothing for this to bolt onto. But we'll be well, maybe not be right back. Let me just scroll in here. Yeah, we're just gonna screw this onto here. And then screw together our sprockets, and then that'll be it for 50. So we'll be right back in just a few seconds. Okay, well, 50's all done. Our sprocket is screwed together nice and tight. Got to really bear down on these screws, but don't forget your 3-in-1 oil. These are going in the metal, and it looks fantastic. I did hit it with a little flat clear. I know I'm addicted. This paint is going to get chipped away while driving. While driving a lot. So just be expecting that. And then we got our little out drive, transmission, final drive, output shaft cover. I don't know. I'm going to be out of stickers by the end of this. That brings us to 51, which looks like kind of a pack, but nope. You'd be wrong, because while there is only some track links and one more bit of this plastic, which we will put onto here. Oh, perfect camo match again. And we're going to screw down this little bracket. I'm going to come back, and this thing will be gone. Oh, it's so satisfying to have all 7 of those road wheels on there. Look at that. Ooh. Nice and smooth. She's going to be a good runner, I think. Don't knock over your 3-in-1 oil. We'll be back un momentito. Okay, we got the upper hull back again, and our taillights. Let's just press that tape up. Taillight. Jesus, Ian. Side view mirrors. Oh my God. The words are just spilling out sideways, and they're the wrong ones. We're going to flip this over, put that on our towel, and then we got to bolt this sucker on. So we're going to retrieve our OP screws from a couple of the previous stages, 45 and 46. So I hope you didn't toss these. You do need them now. And we'll spread those out. And we're just going to put this feller right on there. Well, we could leave this thing off for now and get it screwed on. We'll be right back. Okay, that's bolted on now. And now we're going to slide this little plate here. And then get this little guy into this pin. And doing this live on camera. I don't do test runs here. There we go. Huh, that wasn't too bad. And in the holes. Go. There we go. And she's in. Oh. There we go. Okay. There we go. Just a little dexterity required there. Yeah, a couple more of those OP screws. And this will be... Oh, come on. There we go. Huh. Not bad, not bad. These little fellas in here. Okay. Good. make sure you press the part in all the way so you can make sure that you screwed it in all the way. Pressing it in is important because you don't want the screw threads to be the object that is forcing it into its peg holes, as you could strip a screw because it is going in the plastic. And there we have it. Oh, sweet. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Nice. I think I might need to tweak this hinge. Just give it a little bend. But otherwise, look at that. That's awesome. That is great. This is cool. I really like this. This is a unique feature. It's very cool. I'm quite happy with it. Oh, no hate mail for me. This thing's fantastic. I like it. I'm kind of biased. I love all tanks, but this one is particularly unique in this whole, articulated, side plating here. That's very cool. All right, well, that is, other than track links, which, jeez, never gonna make you guys watch me build track links. That's it. We're done with Pack 6. All finished. Got a lot done with Pack 6. We got a whole side of road wheels done. A Sprocket built. These awesome side panels in place. Let me prop this up where it deserves some attention. There you go. Very nice. Yeah, not bad. I'm going to take this tape off just because it's ugly. That's it. Otherwise, I keep tape handy. I keep extra masking tape pieces just like stuck to the edge of my workbench. They come in handy. Then I don't have to go fumbling for a roll. But there we go. All right. If anybody's interested, links are below to Agora models to check out the tank. And, oh, man. Okay. Like, subscribe, comment. Awesome. We'll see you next time, everybody. Adios.